Okay, so today I'm going to show you a video on this Honda hedge trimmer. It's a HHH 36 AXB, so it's their cordless 24-inch 36 volt hedge trimmer with a rotating handle, 36 volt battery, 24-inch blade. Just take this cover off. It's a bit stiff at the moment because it's still quite new. I've only had it for like a couple of weeks. Haven't really used it much. So this is that's what it looks like. Yeah, and it has the rotating handle, which you can change the angle of just by basically putting back. You got this part, you just put it back and then it changes and it clicks into place, or where, depending on where you want to use it. I'll have it like that so I can start. So we're basically doing this shrub and then this one. So we're going to be trimming up the sides, the top. It's basically getting it back into a nice shape. It's like a mixed kind of shrubs. So originally there's lots of like different ones put in this kind of square, and it's obviously all just grown into one each other, all into one. And obviously this is a smaller one, it's all kind of mixed as well. But this majority of it that grows is this kind of lighter green leafy one. So this will all be trimmed, basically trim on the sides, and then obviously do the top as well. Just sort of so it all blends in. Gives us a nice shape. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing today. I'll film it, of course, because I found that with this hedge trimmer, there's been no videos of it really on YouTube apart from ones from Honda, which, you know, there aren't really any reviews. So surprising for a brand like Honda, there's barely any videos on it, or there's nothing at all. So I've done the grass already, so that's all done. And it uses the same battery, it's the same family as the other tools like this. They're 16-inch Izzy, this one I've got an 18-inch as well, and I've got a HRX they released last year. All runs on the same 36 volt battery, so basically the good thing is I can swap battery from this one that I'm using to the hedge trimmer, as long as it still has charge on it, which it usually does. It's 101 decibels, but it doesn't actually sound like it's that loud. It doesn't sound that loud when it's actually being used. So you don't necessarily need like ear defenders, but you can do if you want. It weighs 5 kilos just as the unit on its own, but with the weight will depend on what battery you're using. With a 9 amp battery, it's definitely the heaviest, which I found, because that battery itself probably weighs about 3 kilos. So when you're actually using it with the 9 amp, it does feel quite heavy, but generally the weight of it's similar to a petrol unit, so it's not going to feel that much difference. The look of the design of it is similar to a petrol unit, so it looks professional, it looks sturdy, and I think with the power of 36 volt, it should be able to cut through a good amount of stuff without bogging down. So the run times, so as I believe, the 4 amp lasts, so the 4 amp is the smallest one, lasts about 54 to 56 minutes run time, that's up to. So just under an hour, which is pretty good for a 4 amp battery. And the 6 amp I think is, I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's about an hour and a half or something. It's about 80 minutes, 90 minutes, around that kind of time. And the 9 amp is 2 hours and 6 minutes up to, so that's pretty good. Haven't obviously tested it yet because the only time I've used it on, the only things I really used it on at currently is just little scrappy hedges really, so it's not really anything big substantial that I can use it on for hours. But that is a video that I want to plan later on this year. If I have a job I can do it on, using this on a bigger job and also comparing this to the petrol unit. So let's get started. So let's see, the this battery has 80% left on it, so I've used 20% already. I'm not expecting it to really use that much. Maybe about 10% at most, 10-20% on these hedges, shrubs. But yeah, anyway, let's just get into the video, and yeah, I'll show you what it's like. So it's definitely quite heavy with that battery. Like, it just feels impossible to actually use for that long. Like, it's just like quite. You can feel the weight of it, definitely. And I think if you want to use it the most comfortably, I'd say probably with the stick stamp, because that definitely weighs a lot less, and it's smaller anyway. It probably weighs about a kilo. That battery alone probably weighs about 3. So it is quite heavy, but I'm sure after some time you will get used to it. But, you know, it's cutting it fairly well. The thicker bits is not going to cut through as well, like most hedge trimmers. That's the problem I find with mixed hedges or shrub like displays where it's all joined into one another. You'll find that some parts of it will be nice and easy to trim, so it's quite thin, and other parts are quite thick, and it's just impossible to cut it all nicely. But it is trimming it. But this side really hasn't really grown loads, so you can see it has trimmed it alright. I mean, once I've cleared up at the bottom, you'll see if there's any bits that's missed, but it's fine. It's doing okay. All I would say really is just the battery with the. If they could have made the actual weight of the unit just at least a couple kilograms lighter, then the battery would be a bit more easier. You know, be easier to use. It's not like. It's just so heavy with that 9-amp battery. Like, it's good because it's the waterproof battery, because the actual hedge trimmer and the battery are waterproof, so you can use it in the rain if you want. And obviously that is the most advanced battery they've got, with the most, you know, longest run times and stuff. But with this hedge trimmer, it makes it so much heavier when using it. So you wouldn't be able to use it for a long time comfortably, I'd say. Like, if you had a 6-amp or 4, then yeah, you can. You can use it a lot more comfortably, because I haven't tested it, but it would be a lot more lighter, I think, considering those batteries don't weigh as much. But yeah, let's get on the rest of it. So this part should be fairly easy to trim, because it's, you know, a lot more thinner pieces, and then obviously it's just kind of So yeah, we'll do this side, get that done, and then we'll do there, so where the bins usually are. That isn't ever going to be that bad because the bin's going to block it from growing, really. But there is obviously growth, but because the bins are basically sat right up here, it's going to kind of prevent it from going out as easily. Yeah, so we'll get this side done, and we'll get that done, and then we'll start working on like the top. And then once we're done with the top of this, then we'll go on this one, start on the sides, and then go on the top. So yeah, I'll film doing this side, and then I'll do that side, then I'll do the top, and yeah, so. Right, so that's the sides done. Yeah, definitely my biggest complaint so far about using that is the weight with the 9-amp battery in. You can obviously swap to a smaller battery which weighs less, but I think the 9-amp battery is too heavy. Because if you're trying, as a hedge trimmer, you're going to be up and down for a while, especially for, extended use. It's just going to, you can't use it for too long comfortably with that big battery in it. So that's my only complaint so far. And I guess another complaint, which is more minor, would be the mechanism you use for adjusting the angle of the handle. It's the same thing you get on a still, where you basically pull a rectangle back and you twist it and stuff. But compared to my power-based hedge trimmer that I've got, a petrol model, I prefer that one because you just do it one-handed. It's more like a trigger that you pull backwards, like a trigger you pull back and you twist it. But then again, that one, I have found it's hard to get it to lock into its position. But I overall found that one's easy to use one hand. You have to stop, put the hedge trimmer down, adjust it, and then start again. You could just sort of, obviously stop for a minute, but you do it one hand, you'd have to stop. But yeah, that's a minor complaint. That's just something I need to get used to. But the weight of it with that 9-amp battery, that's just the worst. That's just the biggest thing that they should definitely change when they do a next model, if they decide to. But I think so far the actual, unit itself is fine. I would like something like more thicker, a bit more substantial for it to go through, like for longer periods of use as well. But that will come later on this year. So I've done all the sides. Now just need to do the top. I'll do as much as I can. I don't know if I'll be able to reach all the way in or not, but as long as I can get majority of it, that'll be fine. Because next time I could always bring the long reach as well. Because obviously I knew this is 24 inches, it's the longest blade I've actually ever had, an hedge trimmer. So I just wanted to see, how far in I could actually get, and if I could actually do all of this with one hedge trimmer. It's just for me, because my height, I'm only 5'2", this job's oval may be small, but if it's a bit too tall on the top, and obviously quite, you know, it's quite overall big in size, you know, you just can't always reach right in the middle part. But we'll see. That one's always easy enough to do because that's overall smaller. But yeah, so let's just start by getting, you know, this top part done now. So I'll basically just cut as much as I can along, just sort of cut, you know, a line basically along here. As much as I can, and I'll do the same there. Just basically go around until I can just can't reach anymore. So, yeah. Yeah, definitely quite heavy when you're holding it up high. But yeah, it's cutting it. You can see it's cutting it fairly easily. I mean, that part over there is quite easy anyway. It's quite thin. Okay, so that is this all done. So I've trimmed, you know, all the top, and I just about got to the middle. The blade was any shorter, I would have struggled. Well, I would have struggled, not the hedge trimmer, but. So yeah, that's this one done. All I need to do really is just, you know, clear up and make sure there aren't any bits at the bottom that I've missed. Yeah, you're not going to get that level because it's all kind of different hedges and it's more thicker branch state. You would, if you had a big industrial hedge trimmer, maybe essentially be able to flatten it off quite a bit, but then it'll look dead for a while. This is this one now, and yeah, I would say for now, this will probably take maybe about 5 minutes or so to actually trim. And then I would say at least another 20, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe of just being finished. And then that's it. So that's it for this video. I've done, it's all been finished, all cut, all cleared up and stuff. So yeah, that's it for this video. So it drained 10% with all of that trimming, which isn't bad, to be honest. I mean, there wasn't loads anyway. So yeah, I think this done pretty good, this trimmer. Cut through what was there. It wasn't that crazy anyway. Yeah, I'd say it's overall a good trimmer for the price. I need to, do more different hedges and stuff with it. But all I'd say so far, my only complaint is the weight with a 9-amp battery. It's quite heavy. Like, you can get 2 of these, one in each arm, if you are weightlifting with it, you get muscles. But without the battery, it's absolutely fine. Like, just holding it as like a bare unit, that's a lot easier. Very easy to hold like that. But yeah, I've found that it's definitely quite difficult to use for a long period of time. So let's put the blade cover back on. I do like that it has a proper blade cover though, compared to like the cheapo little plastic ones that are difficult to get on and off. This is a bit difficult at the moment, probably because it's just brand new and hasn't been used much. But overall, I would say so far I found it to be pretty good. It has a nice professional design. It doesn't feel cheap, but I would just say the weight, the 9-amp battery, is quite a lot. But it's done quite well with the shrubs, so I hope you enjoyed this video. More to come on this hedge trimmer later on this year. Like, I want to do a more substantial, bigger hedge, and I want to compare it to my petrol model. But that's all to come later on this year, because that will be when hedge trimming is coming more often, more common thing people want. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, see you later. Goodbye.